Hello Taurus, and welcome to weekly Soul Sundays read for your sign. Quick 3 card spread, one for mind, body and soul. So let's get started. Universe and angels, messages and guides, my higher self, I call upon you now to give a clear and accurate reading for the sign of Taurus. Please show me what they need to hear for the week ahead. 1 card for mind, 1 card for body, and 1 card for soul. Thank you so much, Spirit. Can I please have 1 card for the mind? There it is. 7 of Angels in the reverse. Progress. The card that came out before, if you guys don't know, watch me on the channel. Unless I ask the question, I pop it back. But I always like to check just in case it comes out again. 7 of Angels is an interesting card. I think I picked up a bit of melancholy for you last week. 7 of Angels speaks about, 7 of Swords can speak about deception. Massage for your body, your message for your body. Time to get a massage. And the note that's on it is really quite sweet. It says, know that I deserve to receive massages. You know how when like money's tight, you think, oh, I'm not going to spend that on myself. I'll like, you know, I don't need to spend that. I don't need to have that. I don't need to, you know, do this or do that. Well, the message is for you this week, definitely. Spirit's telling you, go and invest in a massage. It'll help you relax. I'm going to just tell you from the book some of the key things, because it's not always like a massage. For some of you, you know, it refers to like getting a pedicure, treating yourself to something that's indulgent, right? But essentially this card is referring to the fact that when you look after yourself, I think I talked about exercise was important for you last week. This week is saying to like actually do something to release the energy in your muscles. And it's a good practice to kind of try and weave into your self-care, even if you can just, you know, once a quarter. It's like, I recommend them every month if you can afford it, but it will really help you in terms of releasing any kind of tension. I really want to focus on this 7 of Angels that's in the reverse, this card of progress in the reverse. So it's like typically when we see cards that come out in the reverse, it's either we're blocking it or someone's blocking it for us. Just bear with me for a second. So the 7 of Angels or the 7 of Swords is typically a card that a lot of readers will refer to as a card of deception, right? You'll see someone walking along, or you'll see 5 swords in the background, and then there's a guy with 2 swords and he's trying to take the 2 swords and run, cut and run type thing. Which I actually, depending on the other cards that I see around it, see that as a healthy thing. Sometimes it's about releasing yourself from past hurt, pain, thoughts, those kind of things, and taking 2 swords and moving forward. Because the next thing that comes after that is the 8 of Swords, and then it goes on. It's like trying to complete a cycle. It's a card for me of healing or getting closer to healing, whereas this card denotes it as progress. But when it's in the reverse, it's blocking that from happening. Now, I know last week I picked up on mental stuff for you, and I was just saying, you know, trying to remain positive was key. And by moving your body, that was the answer to actually getting clearer when it comes to stuff within your mind. This speaks about, in this book, however, new plans, wishes, perseverance and effort. But in the reverse, it's like you're blocking it for yourself. I'll read it to you and then I'll break it down a bit more before I get into your soul message, okay? The angel of liberation relaxes your grip on perpetual treasures. Progress comes through freedom. The 7 of Angels is here because you're willing to break free of limitations. You are ready to strike out on your own. Whether you are carving a path of your own business, leaving a relationship, or abandoning the ideas of the masses, this is time to save yourself by doing things your way. Balance and align yourself with change before you bring others on board. You are free to experience and live unconditionally because you have progressed beyond the conditions of society. Massive, right? So it's talking about growth in its many forms, and it's what I was saying before in that little example about how you're leaving 5 swords, 5 things, 5 aspects that have held you back and making the choice to go forward. However, for you, it's come out in the reverse. So what that means to me is you're almost there. You're almost ready to make that progress. You're almost ready to experience life unconditionally. For some of you, you may be contemplating starting your own business. And for others of you, it could be leaving a failed relationship behind and you're just waiting for the right timing, or maybe just waiting until you're sure within yourself to make that step. If either of those things are resonating with you, no one can force you into starting a business until you're ready. And my advice is always to listen to the people who are killing it in your industry, find out how they're doing it, find out how they've managed to keep their head above water in terms of cash flow before you make any of those decisions. And if it's to do with a relationship, you know, everyone can give you advice, but no one really knows what goes on besides you and the other person, and somewhere in between that is the truth, right? So take your time. When it feels right, you will flip this from being in a state of limbo into the upright. And for some of you, you may have already left a relationship, and it's now about stepping out into your own and finding out what matters to you again, finding out what holds true. There is going to be a big shift in energy. We have a new moon coming up in the sign of Aries at the end of this week. So make sure to, if you can, invest in self-care and go get yourself this massage, because I think it may sound like you're like going, oh, what's that going to do, Ali? But I think it'll really help you mentally release some kind of tension in your body, some stored energy that's holding you back. Or maybe it's some fear-based stuff, okay? Perception is your soul message for this week. Let me just find it. Listen, observe, and better your chances. Rely on your direct experiences. Don't be swayed by reputation, gossip, or third-party account. Trust your perception and interpretation of a situation. Be wary of gaslighting or of someone who undermines your sense of self and the world around you. Develop and hone your sensitivities. So it talks about your senses being clouded by thoughts and emotions, right? That's what this card is here. That's what your card was the previous week. It's like your intuition is on fire, but you can't make sense of it because you're clouded by your own thoughts or overthinking. You know, one of the hardest things we can do is distance ourselves from our circle of influence, right? What people think, what their opinions are, and be able to find our own thoughts, to be able to get clear in our own mentality. And the best way that you can do that is through meditation. You guys know that I'm crazy about it, but if you can't do that, just find a quiet place, somewhere that's in nature, ground yourself, relax, and just sit there. You don't even need to close your eyes, just sit there and think about what's working, what needs to change, what's holding you back. If there are certain things that are holding you back and they're fear-based things, then sit there and ask yourself how much of that is true. Is that really how you feel? Is that really what you want? Or is that someone else's view or opinion? And then allow your instinct to guide you to get the clear direction that you need, okay? It will come to you. As soon as that new moon comes, I feel like you're going to have this switch, and then you'll just be like straightforward as we get closer and closer to your birthday month, which is exciting. All right, Taurus, that was your message for this week. If you can, treat yourself, go get a massage, and I'll be back with you next week. Take care.